Hello, my name is Tanay Tiwari and welcome to our coverage in the build-up to the World Test Championship final between India and New Zealand. And today we are looking at the heroes of New Zealand's journey in this World Test Championship. Now, in an otherwise very successful campaign for India in the World Test Championship, a rare blip happened in New Zealand, and a chief architect of India's defeat there and New Zealand's win was the tall young speedster Kyle Jamieson, who made his debut in that series, and what a spectacular debut that was. Since then, in all of 6 test matches, Jamieson has already picked 36 wickets, becoming the second highest wicket taker for New Zealand in the World Test Championship cycle. And even in that crucial series win for New Zealand against India, he picked the big wickets like Virat Kohli, Cheteshwar Pujara, Rishabh Pant and Hanuma Vihari, proving his mettle. This tall fast bowler has got the bounce, and that, if put to good use, can really put batsmen in trouble. He's no mug with the bat either. He scored a good half-century against the West Indies and then a crucial 49 against India, showing that he's an all-round cricketer in the making. Kyle Jamieson, with his height and bounce, if conditions are in his favour, will be a handful for Indian bowlers come the World Test Championship final as well. It isn't really a novel fact that New Zealand's way into that World Test Championship final went through a stellar home run, where everything that was on offer to win, they won it. But there was one victory far away from home for New Zealand that also proved pivotal towards the end. That was their victory against Sri Lanka in Sri Lanka. They were 1-0 down in the second test. Tom Latham set the tone with his 154 for a famous New Zealand win. New Zealand squared the series 1-1, but more importantly, got those 60 points that came in very handy towards the end of the World Test Championship League. Also, Tom Latham doubled up as skipper in the absence of Kane Williamson. Kane Williamson sat out and Latham captained his side to victory as well. Come the World Test Championship final, Latham's batting and his leadership both will be tested. Trent bowled as a bankable Kiwi star, and there are no doubts about it. He's never too far away from getting a breakthrough, which explains his 34 wicket tally in the World Test Championship cycle. He is the third highest wicket taker for the Kiwis in this cycle, and his record against Cheteshwar Pujara might be a record that might worry Team India a little. He's gotten Pujara 4 times in 17 innings, and come the World Test Championship final, this architect of New Zealand's road into that final would like to better that record. A key reason why New Zealand was so dominant at home in this WTC cycle is Team Southee. He picked 51 wickets in this WTC cycle, the most for any New Zealand bowler. In that critical series against India, he picked 14 wickets from just 2 test matches and was adjudged the player of the series. Team Southee, when the conditions were right in New Zealand, was indomitable, and New Zealand would be hoping that come Southampton, the conditions are similar and that Team Southee can extract the best out of himself. This name shouldn't really be a surprise to anyone. New Zealand's highest run scorer in the WTC cycle, Kane Williamson, has amassed over 800 runs in this cycle, including 3 centuries and 2 double centuries. On his days, he would drive oppositions into the ground, especially on that dominant New Zealand home run. Now, Kane Williamson is also the #1 ranked Test batsman heading into the World Test Championship final versus India. But his batting aside, his leadership has been top-notch as well. Remember, New Zealand embarked on their World Test Championship journey right after that heartbreaking defeat in the Cricket World Cup 2019 final. For him to take his team from that final into this final must have taken a lot of leadership abilities. Come the final in Southampton, New Zealand would be banking on their biggest star. Those are our picks for New Zealand's heroes from this World Test Championship cycle. Does yours look different? Don't forget to share them with us on Twitter.